Hello Toronto! A little while ago we visited the Cheese Boutique, which is one of our main suppliers of cheese, and Ephraim showed us how to make a beautiful cheese board. This week we're talking our best picks with Ephraim, so Ephraim, take it away and enjoy.
So this is Brie de Meaux, and Brie de Meaux, really for a cheese to be called Brie, it must be made in two towns. Meaux, M-E-A-U-X, also famous for their mustard, and Melun, M-E-L-U-N. Brie is protected like Champagne is in France, so it has to be from those two towns and you can call it Brie. Brie made anywhere else in the world, and we are making it here even in Canada, in Germany, in England, in Spain, they're Brie styles. So this is the original. This is Brie de Meaux, so it's raw milk, and a Brie de Meaux never kind of runs on you. It's just that kind of like really meaty kind of texture, and I love that because it's almost I call it pleasantly funky, and it's got that kind of woodsy, very aromatic, mushroomy smell. That's really due because it's raw milk and because it's ripened and aged a little longer than a traditional Brie. This is about 60 to 90 days old, which is quite long for Brie, but it's awesome. This, if you have a burger done and it's resting, you keep this at room temperature, a couple slices on that resting burger. It's awesome, and just kind of the heat from the burger will just open up the flavor of that earthiness and that nuttiness. It's awesome, and this is real authentic Brie de Meaux. Okay, so we're talking cheddar. So we source our cheddar from a dairy in the Ottawa Valley. We've been dealing directly with them. They're a family business since 1981, and they're all made from 100% Holstein cow's milk. We age them. They're made at 1 year at the dairy, and then we age it to 5, and then we age it to 10. And these are first quality milks, family dairy, all handmade products, really kind of the authentic, kind of very traditional way to make cheddar, and they're spectacular. Even the 10-year, sometimes you find 10-year cheddars really kind of gritty and acidic. This isn't, just because of the quality of the milk. It's very, very clean, but very flavorful at the same time. Okay, so this is a very unique cheese. This is, there's a very famous cheese in Holland called Beamster, and this is a Beamster, but this is a very special Beamster. So many years ago in Toronto, we had the blackout, and we were without power for 2 days. It was just before Christmas a few years ago, and during the ice storm. And we were closed, unfortunately. We were closed a couple days before Christmas. So I'm doing inventory in my cheese cave. I got my BlackBerry flashlight on at the time and just kind of doing inventory. And I walk by these wheels of Beamster that have just been, they look old, okay? Like they just look old. And I bring one out, it's pitch black in the store, and I cut this open, try it, and my brother and I had that like eureka moment where it was just spectacular. And it's aged 5 years. It was aged 5 years at the time, so I called it the Blackout Beemster due to the blackout here in Toronto. But over time, it just gets like candy. So Beemster already is awesome, but when you age it, it just gets like caramel and like salted butterscotch and sweet and salty. It's insanely complex. It's one of the most complex kind of cheeses I think we have. Very umami, like you just kind of feel it coating your palate and your mouth. It's awesome. A great recipe is to grate this into risotto. So when you apply heat to cheese, it really opens up the flavor. So when you're stirring in your risotto, right at the last minute, you hit it with this grated Blackout Beemster, and that heat from the rice really opens up the flavor. It's awesome. And then it does give the risotto a little bit of that kind of orangey kind of tinge to it. So it's awesome. This is now a 5-year-old cheese boutique exclusive, available at all the healthy butchers, Blackout Beemster. Okay, so next is the Prairie Sunset. Very unique. You don't see this cheese available across Canada really. We have it here at the Cheese Boutique and the Healthy Butcher. So this is kind of, Wisconsin is famous for their cheese, the cheeseheads, right? The Green Bay Packers. So this is made by a German family called the Rothkäse family. And this is kind of their traditional kind of English style, but Wisconsin feel cheddar. Dyed with naturally with a natto seed, and it's very buttery. So it's made with Guernsey cow's milk. So it almost like, it tastes old, but it feels young. And it's very kind of unique in that way, where you get just a little slice of it, and just kind of melts on your palate, and and you get that butteriness, you get a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of caramel, a little bit of salt, but really, really complex and a very unique cheese. It's aged about a year. So very different cheese from all the ones we've been discussing already. Also available at the Healthy Butcher. It's called Ossau Iraty. And this comes from the French side of the Basque. So in the Pyrenees, there's that kind of area separating Spain and France, and it's called the Basque. And for me, it's some of the most exclusive, unique food. A lot of Michelin star restaurants, Espelette pepper, different hams, like very, very unique ingredients, and this sheep's milk cheese especially. So it's interesting because Italians make pecorino, the Spanish make cheeses like manchego, both sheep's milk. This is just very different from both, where it's not as gritty, it's not as aged, but it's very flavorful. And typically, sheep's milk is quite acidic, so you do get a lot of acid with this, but the texture is very, very smooth. Not creamy like a brie, but just kind of almost meaty, just very smooth on the palate. And one of the most unique, and it's got a really good amount of funk. So it is a washed rind cheese. So during the time of aging, it's about a year now, during the time of aging, you would take a soft bristled brush or cheesecloth and dip it in brine, salt and water, and literally wash the cheese, which does two things. Imparts a lot more moisture into the cheese, so that moisture doesn't drain out and is kept into the cheese. And it also does kind of give it, anytime you kind of smell that kind of funk, that like dirty sock kind of cheese, kind of smell on a cheese, it's not bad. That's really just a style of cheese. So this kind of does have that funk, but inside you're not also eating the rind, right? So that washing has already done its purpose, but it's done its purpose so you can enjoy all the beautiful goodness inside here. It's called Ossau Iraty.